Welcome to Haig's Business Winners, a club that brings together leaders, industry experts, entrepreneurs, startups, and those willing to share their business experiences and learn from others. Just like my podcast, Other Side of the Business Card, we explore business conversations with humanity, humor, and passion. Listen in as we uplift, motivate, and learn from each other. Haig's Business Winners, as I said, we've started this new young entrepreneur episode once a month on Haig's Business Winners, and today's about sustainable fashion meets NFT. So quite an interesting topic. And these two young lads were found by Shay, who's here on the panel, and he does a lot of mentoring all sorts of places. University of Westminster for one, and we're both proud to be members of the Company of Entrepreneurs. So I was just saying, we seem to have a magnetic attraction to young entrepreneurs. So maybe I'll get Abigail to say a few words. I think Kevin's in the US.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Haig's Business Winners. Let me know if you can hear me. Flash your mic, please. Thanks, Sharina. So, as Haig said, so excited for this episode, the first one for entrepreneurial young business leaders. So today we're going to be hearing all about sustainable fashion and how you can get NFTs involved in it. So on the panel, we have got Sharina, who is our social media guru. We've got Shay, who is all things process, productivity improvements, consulting. We've got the amazing Sarah, another consultant from Haig Barrett Partners. We have Paul, who is also from Haig Barrett Partners. Haig introduced Arnau, and then we're also joined by Julie, who works with entrepreneurs to help them improve their grasp of financial literacy. So super excited to have this conversation, to find out a little bit more about what it takes to be a sustainable entrepreneur in this day and age, and what NFTs have to do with it. So I'm going to hand the mic back to Haig. As always, if you have any questions, raise your hand. We would love to hear from you if you are joining us live or if you are joining us on the replay. There's also a chat available, so if you can't ask your question, you are welcome to put some thoughts in the chat, and we are going to pin a link to what it is that the boys do, so you'll be able to find out more about them as well. So I'll hand the mic back to Haig.
Thank you, Abigail, and thank you to all of my panelists today, but most of all to Arnau and Abbas. Thanks for coming in, guys.
No, thanks, Haig. It's a pleasure to be here.
Great.
Good afternoon, it's Arnau. Thank you very much, Haig, for having us, and looking forward to share our experiences.
Absolutely. So let's do a formal kickoff here. A very warm welcome to also all of you listening in now and on the replays. Haig's Business Winners every Thursday, 1 o'clock, brings together industry experts, leaders, and entrepreneurs to explore a business conversation. And today's one is quite interesting, as we're going to dive in with our guests, a special session that is kind of a cross between art and NFTs and fashion, all sorts of things that I'm not quite an expert in, but I hope to be by the end of the hour. So again, I'm introducing Arnau Gilles Ross, entrepreneur and founder of Altered Canvas, which is a sustainable luxury streetwear brand. And joining Arnau is his business partner, Abbas, who I see around the office as well, both of you a lot, a recent graduate who manages the marketing and the PR of the business. So in the next hour, we're going to be discussing with you both the journey of entrepreneurship, the key skills and mindset needed to run a business, the importance of sustainability, which is a topic I'm very interested in, and the challenges that come along with it. And we want you to be open and transparent. We want you to share your pain. Try not to cry too much or get too excited and hug me. And we'll also be hearing from the people on the panel, our Haig's Business Winners who are here today. And Abigail's already done some intros. So I'm going to just jump in with the first question, which is just tell us a little about how you got into starting your own company, Altered Canvas.
So Altered Canvas started in 2020 as an idea when I was in Barcelona doing business management with marketing in another university. And I just was with a lot of people in the business environment in Barcelona that were doing they were doing clothing lines that were mainly buying clothes from China or big suppliers of clothing, for example, India as well, and they were just getting them for cheap and printing something on top of them and then reselling it to the local people in Barcelona. They were making money, but the process of it didn't make sense for me. I wanted to do it as well, but I didn't see an added value to it. It was just doing something that everyone else was doing. So I dropped off at that university and I started thinking about what should I do. And I came across, because my girlfriend has been vegan for 4 years, so to sustainability, and I got introduced to the topic. And I've always been really into fashion, but I also saw how fast fashion works in this world. It's really about seasons. It's only like clothes that last for a season, and I started liking more what was high fashion, what would be Off-White, Gucci. Why? Because there was a second-hand market that was really interesting, where you could buy second-hand clothes in the internet for even more money than they were retailing for. And that came up for an idea that was to add more value by making something desirable. So not only that, I wanted to combine it with sustainability and also bring back a little bit of the cotton industry to Catalonia, because we used to be a powerhouse back in the days. So I started talking to different workshops, and after a long process, I came across a manufacturing workshop in Barcelona that has more than 40 years of experience, and that they were actually going to let us do the sustainability part of the hoodies without a problem.
And I guess that's where I come in. So after 2 years alone, practically alone doing the company, I met Arnau in my first year of university, where he explained the business. However, it was only after another 2 years in university and my third year where I saw Arnau again in the lobby of the university, just after meeting Shay during a consultancy seminar. And my background is business, but also just networking. I'm a very dynamic networker. I could be in a room of teenagers. Next thing, as I am now, in a room full of experts in industry. And
I'm glad you didn't say old people, so that's good.
No, not old people at all. Very, very useful. So after meeting Shay, I found that he would be a great match to mentor myself and Arnau. And I actually still had Shay's business card in my pocket. And I guess the rest is history, and it's the part of Old Canvas 2.0, which I'm sure we'll get into.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really interesting because a lot of the super successful people that I had on my podcast too, so these are CEOs of companies that are in the billions and stuff, they all had this meandering kind of route, as you say in the US, through life. And it is amazing that you guys meet in a lobby of a university. And but what I was going to say, even when we were interviewing, I was interviewing Tony Meggs on my podcast, who's the former chairman of Crossrail. Again, if you listen to that episode, it's just mind blowing how he kind of meandered through his life from being born. I think it was on a Norfolk farm and going to Malaysia to cut down trees, to then having a 25-year career with BP, then suddenly getting into government. So it really is all about just having your eyes open, I think, in terms of seeing these things. And to see these things, you need to have a lot of clarity with what you want in life. And I think that's probably what I can accredit to the two of you coming together with such an amazing idea. So I want to just jump into now a bit more about the idea. Now, obviously, this is being recorded on video, but it's an audio show for the first hour on Clubhouse, so people won't see what you've got. So why don't you kind of describe what you've put together here? And there's so many intricate bits that you will be able to see this when my team posts it on LinkedIn and Instagram. So they'll be able to see some videos, I'm sure, and things, and links to your site. But why don't we just kick off to say, what are we talking about, and try and describe that?
Okay, so the Altered Canvas hoodie combines art with streetwear. So the idea is to have an art piece in the back to make yourself feel more attached to the hoodie. Because what I found out is that people of my age were not willing to come with me to an art museum to look at art pieces because they were not interested into it. But if I managed to put a painting that they related to, for example, for their childhood or something like that, into a hoodie, they would be more into the art piece and the history that goes behind it. So the beginning was to start having an art piece that was combined also with streetwear and popular culture. Streetwear because it's a hoodie and it's not a formal garment, as you would say. And popular culture relates to all the Easter eggs that the hoodie has and also the title that we give to it. So what we're doing at the moment only, it's taking famous paintings by Michelangelo or whatever, and we're creating a title for it and modifying the painting at the same time to create a cohesive package that relates to a topic related to popular culture. For example, the Munchies or the after party. We also wanted to combine it with sustainability, so that's why we focused on a completely local sourced supply chain in Barcelona. And we used a combination of 100% cotton for the hoodie, 100% linen for the canvas, and recyclable materials for the small details, Easter eggs that the hoodie has. Moreover, we're going to have the NFTs integrated into the hoodie in the future. Also a metaverse expansion that will integrate what would be the blockchain, so traceability of the hoodie, of the ownership of the hoodie into the internet. My friend Abbas will continue explaining you about the experience of owning the hoodie, from the packaging to also the metaverse.
And just before that, are you going to go into how the NFT plays into this as well, Abbas? Okay, great.
What I'll do is actually, just to get a bit more engagement, when we do open up for questions, I would love for further questions about NFT, just because I don't want to assume what everyone knows in here. So if you guys have no idea at all, feel free to ask me. If you guys do, then feel free to ask a bit more intricate questions. But what I'm going to try and do is bring you guys into the room, because I'm aware that it's audio only. So the hoodie is comes in 3 shades. One beige, one grey, and one a slightly darker grey. On the front side, you'll find the altered canvas logo, which is a modified signature of our founder, Arnau. And on the back, what you'll find is a linen patch which has the artwork printed on in a way that after, I think, one of our oldest prototypes, I think it's 70 washes?
64.
Yeah, 64. So after 64 washes, it's still just as vibrant. And what you get after the washes is actually slight fraying on the sides of the linen, which I believe adds a bit more character to the hoodie as well. So yeah, on the NFT side, what we're planning to do, obviously, is still in the process of being created and looking at the logistics of it. But adding an extra added value to the hoodies. So the hoodie that you purchase, I'm not sure if I'm now detailed, but each hoodie is actually in a limited run. So for this one, we have one of 911 pieces. Reason why is because we love cars, and Porsche specifically. So like the Porsche 911. And similarly, we like the idea of NFTs because they bring the same idea of scarcity. And that way, I believe it will also contribute to sustainability side as well. Because if you have a hoodie which has an added value of being linked to an NFT, you're very unlikely to throw it away and contribute to waste. But yeah, I will be looking forward to a couple more questions about the NFT side of the business when the others ask questions.
Great. Thanks, Abbas. So I am a consultant, so I need to ask you a question. What kind of focus group activity did you do at the beginning, I guess, to get a feel for this? There was some interest in having, a bit of art slapped on your back. And what did that tell you? Did that reinforce what you were doing? Did you get any kind of new ideas out of the focus group? Arnau, you want to start, or Abbas?
I think it would be best to pass to Arnau, but on my side, I would say on 2.0, it has been listening to customer feedback, and we've had a bunch of reviews on Google. But I'll leave it to Arnau to explain how the first release went and how he found inspiration of whether he had a good idea or not.
So going back to how it started, how Alternate Canvas started, as I said, it was in 2020 when I dropped off university, and I managed to get all my savings and produce a first collection. At the beginning, what I did was to try some samples, and those samples came out really great. They were using 100% organic cotton without no dyes, no anything, because I wanted to be completely sustainable. But we found out some problems during the process. The first one was that if you would use organic cotton, raw cotton hoodie, because of the bleachers in the washing machines and everything, the hoodie just got destroyed after some washes. So we also wanted to create something durable, because sustainability is not only about the materials you're using, but it's also about the journey of the hoodie, the whole process of ownership from the beginning of producing it to the end, disposal. So I started trying with different dyes till we came up with a sustainable one that didn't use any toxic products for the environment. And I used a couple grand to create the first collection, and I started selling to friends and family in Barcelona. After that, I started creating a web page as well to start bumping some online sales. And we went to also some second-hand shops of streetwear clothing, and we placed some of our hoodies, being brand new, in between high street clothing, for example, Balenciaga hoodies, Off-White, to see if there would be someone interested around them. And what we found out is that the interest was there. One of our hoodies was the first one to be sold in one of those second-hand markets. And we also had to happen a little bit of a problem, an issue, because when I first published the website, I put some stock numbers and everything, but I already kind of sold out all the hoodies. But because the website was live, we started having some sales. And I had to email those people saying, I don't have this hoodie in extra large. Do you mind having it in large? And what I found is that the people were even more interested. And after that, they were just posting on the internet and even being more related to the brand and explaining about their experience. So, the journey continued. And now I came here to London. I started developing V2 of the hoodie. We went to some conventions about sustainability. We also did a fashion show where we explained, we displayed to the world what our mission and vision was with the hoodies and what was our objective with this brand, that we wanted to be a transparent company and we wanted to be a role model in sustainability in today's world. And and we've been just kind of asking feedback nonstop to all the owners of the hoodies to come back with feedback if anything was going.
Are you when you say feedback, is that kind of individual feedback into some iMessage or into a message system, or is that do you have any kind of community where people do chat about your stuff?
I'll take that on as a marketing side. So what I've been trying to do with our marketing is actually using the different avenues and all the different platforms that we have for different purposes. So as you guys will find, our Instagram is a bit more brand centric. You won't really find us on the Instagram. It's quite impersonal. Reason for that is it's there to try and convey the brand and all of its core values. However, our TikTok is quite the opposite. It's going to be quite personal. What we're going to be doing is a kind of vlog style of our journey as entrepreneurs. And the issues that we face going along. But I'm sure that's something that we're going to be talking about during the podcast. So for me, as a marketeer at heart, as well as entrepreneur, I really hope that on the TikTok, we can get that engagement that other creators are getting to understand, what the wider demographics and what the wider, the world thinks about our brand. Because obviously being based in London, there's only so much we can hear. So currently it has been comments on social media, and I feel like that's the best, the best kind of feedback.
We also have feedback in our Google profile. So we have already like 14 reviews from real customers, and we also got some feedback in the Kickstarter that we're starting. So there's already some people that are willing to contribute to the company to make it work.
So do you have in terms of funding, is the Kickstarter real now? Because I know you were thinking about it, and has it gone live yet or not? Not quite.
So the Kickstarter is gonna support our pre-orders that are already live. The Kickstarter is gonna be live this week, and we already got some pre-orders in that were mainly coming from all the ads that we were doing about the Kickstarter.
And if I could just add as well, with the Kickstarter, we are actually just freshly graduated from university, which we're quite happy about. Obviously, Arnau said he left, but that was back in Barcelona. He's come and happily finished his course in Westminster with me. So now, with me just finishing my last assignment yesterday, it is, 100 miles per hour, to our goals this year and meeting all of our criteria on the roadmap. So you can expect a lot more in terms of Kickstarters and content from Old Canvas this year.
I've supported a few things in Kickstarter, and actually I can give a shout out to my nephew this week. Their company Sticks just got funded £10,000, so they closed their funding early. And this is a mental health thing, which I won't say much about, but I'll post it in the next week. But because I think next week is Mental Health Week, is it? I'm not sure, but it's coming up soon. Yeah, so I'll do some posting that week. But congratulations to Sticks because they got theirs done, and I'm looking forward to somehow funding yours. I mean, I have to wear one of these hoodies. Do you think do you think it'll suit me, or do you think I need a goatee like his or a haircut like yours to wear one? Or
I mean, Shay's actually wearing one of ours today, and if anyone in here knows Shay well, then you'll know that he loves to post on Instagram. So I'm sure you guys will see plenty of it on his story today.
No, brilliant. We're gonna get some pictures with us all wearing them soon as they're ready. But in the meantime, I think we're kind of at a midpoint here to maybe Abigail wants to reset the room and we can have some questions. I know Brian's got a question first, Abigail, and we can go to Sarah, and then to everyone else who is talking to us here on the back channel. So Abigail.
Amazing. Well, welcome to Haig's Business Winners. We are here today talking to the founders of Altered Canvas, and we are having a really interesting conversation about what it actually takes to become an entrepreneur. And we'll be sort of moving the conversation a little bit more into mindset on the basis of what Haig was just saying last week about earlier about mental health. So if you have any questions, put them in the back channel, raise your hand if you would like to come up and speak. If you're listening on replay, then you will be able to leave your comments in the question box on whatever platform you are consuming this in. But so awesome to be with you. I'll hand the mic back to Haig.
Okay, good. So let's get some questions in here. I want to start out with, well, first of all, I want to say that I'm not using my phone. So this broadcast, if you're on Clubhouse listening in, is coming through Arnau's phone who's here. And so these young students can afford better phones than me. So we're using his phone for Clubhouse, and I'm still saving up. But talking of saving up, I'm going to hand off to Brian, who's also here in the studio, has a question, and who was my former chairman for many years ago. And he always said, you got to save your money. He always said, be careful. So I was careful. So that's why I'm still here in business. Thank you, Brian. Over to you.
I've really enjoyed listening to this, and I go back a long way with lots of investments and startups. And so I'm a kind of dragon. And I'm also a member of a very large business startup organization called Minerva. So my question to you is your product patented in any way? Is it protected in any way? So what stops somebody like, can I use a trade name like Superdry? Somebody like that, what stops them from copying it?
Thank you very much. That's a really nice question. In fashion, it's really difficult to patent anything apart from your brand name and also your logos, because fashion is something that it's necessary for everyone, at least clothing. So it's classified as something that it's like needed. So You cannot really patent it, but what you can come up is with a unique idea that you're going to be the first one to do it. Not only that, you also add value behind it by the sustainability, by the transparency of the company, and also because we're doing alterations of the paintings. So even though the painting is in public domain, because its author died more than 100 years ago, so the painting already lost its copyright. What we're doing is modifying it so we can actually patent it in some way with the NFTs as a new painting, as a new art piece. So that's what we're doing at the moment, and we're also giving it in this cohesive package that it's also an experience, because the hoodie comes in a box that it's unique. All of them are one of one because they have a style of Jackson Pollock painting on top of them. And then they come with certificate of authenticity, and they're in limited numbers. So even if a big manufacturer like Zara, for example, copied kind of the design, the experience will not be there, and nor the core values that we stand for.
If I could just add as well. If I could just add shortly, I'll talk a bit of marketing and I'll talk a bit of NFT as well. The benefit of the brand idea and where it's going to be developing in is actually the use of, modern technology and modern values combined with traditional manufacturing techniques. So it's a handmade hoodie, with, the branding and all that. But at the same time, the benefit of the NFTs is actually it creates that uniqueness and verification of the hoodie. So there's nothing to stop someone from going to a manufacturer and trying their best to replicate. I mean, this is a very high quality hoodie. However, what I hope to do on a marketing side is actually document every single stage of and step that we take as entrepreneurs and as a business, so that our customers can look back and see that, even if another brand, let's say, copied the idea one for one, we're actually known for pioneering in what we're doing. I mean, you can go to Zara now and find Balenciaga knockoffs, and anyone that knows fashion, which is our target market, we'll look at them and laugh. And realistically, we hope to be pioneers in sustainability, but at the same time, we also hope that our customers recognize us for who we are and the ideas that we bring.
Just to add a little bit more information about that, at the beginning, as I said, I had to do a lot of samples, and one thing we're really proud of is how the painting holds through time. So I came across, I had in my life some off-white hoodies that had paintings as well printed on top of the hoodie, and usually with durability you have an issue with these things because they tend to tear apart and just come off the hoodie. With us, what we did is, as I said, printed on top of linen, and then this linen gets stitched. But we also introduced some processes to make it more durable, and it's gonna be almost impossible to replicate this process.
That's wonderful. Are you satisfied with that answer, Brian? Okay, good. Let's move over to Sarah, if you're ready. Sarah, what is your question for these young lads?
So I've obviously seen the boys in our office, and it's great to see what they're doing. But I wondered if they could tell our audience a little bit about the challenges that they found as being young entrepreneurs with a new idea over the past couple of years, but also the benefits that they've had from a mentor. And Shay's been a great mentor to them, and Haig also helping them. I think it's useful if they could talk a little bit about how that's helped them actually develop their ideas and their thoughts going forward for their business.
So that's a really nice question. Going back to the beginning of the hoodies, I found a mentor to try to help me in Barcelona and find a manufacturer and everything. It took a while. I was more than 6 months with that person, and it didn't work through. At the end, I had to do my own work and find a manufacturer by my own. So when I came here to the UK, I also started doing everything more or less on my own, till I came out with Shay. And his importance in this business is that he managed to get all our energy, our values, and focus them in a business perspective. So even though we are both business management students, there's a difference between university and real life. And it's clear what Shay is bringing up to the value, because he's more focused not on the future but in the present. And this is something really important in the business, given that we're thinking about the metaverse. We were thinking about all the expansions that we would like to do, and Shay was trying to make that path right for us and try to make us stay focused on what we're doing, and most importantly, introducing us the idea that perseverance is the most important thing in business, and it just coming up to work every week, doing your work how it's supposed to be, and just keep the energy going the whole year without having any bad moments.
Yeah, I think exactly that. I think finding a mentor in Shay has been incredible for us. It's given us the direction and focus that we need as a business.
No wonder. Well, I can relate to so much of that, having been through so many of these different businesses, and perseverance is certainly there. And I know that Shay is a shining light for young entrepreneurs. So again, this is our young entrepreneur edition. So you've given us such great insights. I know Abigail's got a question. I'm going to give Abigail a chance to ask her question now.
So my question is really around setting up your business. What would you do differently knowing what you know now? Like, this is $1 million thing, but in business, it's always about failing fast and being able to adapt. So what's like probably maybe one share from each of you, the biggest thing that you would do differently knowing what you know now? Let's start with you, Abbas.
Right. I'll try and mix this with also the second question that Sarah had, which was barriers that we're facing. Or do you want to do that afterwards?
No, you can.
Okay, so I'd say one of the biggest challenges facing young entrepreneurs, I believe, is I think it links with the first question. Actually, is actually mentorship and understanding the value of mentorship, and that's my short answer for that. And secondly, if I could just ask me that question again, Abigail, just slip my mind.
So knowing what you know now, what would you do differently?
What would we do differently? I think with the benefit of having Shay on board from the very beginning, as a second part of the business now on V2 with us as a team, we've kind of mitigated the risks and the issues that most people will face. However, I think it's maybe the time that we've taken on certain things. Obviously, now just finishing university is benefited us a lot in terms of now being able to put 100% into the business. But it would be time management for sure. And as Arnau is reminding me, spending so much time with maybe like one investor and understanding that you can actually having that exclusivity with just one investor can waste a lot of time. So because if you spend 2 weeks or 3 weeks speaking with one investor and they pull out and say they're not interested, you've just given that person 3 weeks, which for a startup, which most startups, I'm not sure exactly this percentage, fail within a year. Those 3 weeks are crucial. Giving people too much time and maybe being far too exclusive with one and not exploring many options at once.
So linking up to the first question as well, what also Shay added to the table was not spending money on things that were not important. So I would say that my biggest mistake in this company was to start by my own and being sure that everything I was doing was right. It was certainly not. I learned a lot from that. And for example, one big mistake was registering the company both in the UK and in Spain. The only problem about that was the economic expense of registering the company in Spain. It was around $2,000 almost, and that for me, especially starting the business, would have been useful money to spend on developing a new product or marketing, whatever. So that would be the only thing I would change.
Awesome, thank you so much. I'll hand the mic back to Haig.
Yeah, I want to get a question in from Melissa next. Are you here and ready, Melissa?
Yes. Hey, everyone. Well, first of all, what I would like to say to these amazing gentlemen that you have on this interview is that I'm very encouraged by your passion, your drive, your enthusiasm, your energy. And I obviously did just pop a comment into the chat about that. It's really great to hear that drive, that just, as entrepreneurs, it's that other gear that we're really looking for. And yeah, it's just very inspiring. So thank you, first of all, for that. My question for you is, and because I'm hearing all this inspiration and this energy, is what's the dream? Where do you want this to go? What do you want to happen?
So what's the dream? Where do you want this to go? And what do you want to happen? Oh, no. They're fighting of who goes first.
I'm gonna start purely because I know, I'm very passionate about, passion and Arnau. I think they're lovers. So I'll let Arnau finish off. But wow, what that is! Thanks. First of all, thank you so much for your comments. And secondly, wow, that is a beautiful question. What is the dream? Riding around in Rolls Royces? No. As a sustainable company, probably electric cars or maybe bicycles. But the dream. I believe the dream for me is longevity within this business. Very short background from me. I've been involved in a couple of businesses prior to this. I've been on the other side. I've been drop shipper on Shopify, which I now mentioned is not sustainable. And as I've seen, I've made my money on it, but it had no longevity. So I think for me, this is about legacy, and this is about longevity. So yeah, legacy and longevity.
So for me, a really important issue is sustainability because as UN Environment Program states, 10% of carbon emissions come from the fashion industry. We've raised, since the Industrial Revolution, the temperature of the Earth by more than a degree and a half Celsius. So what I want to create is a role model in sustainability, not only in sustainability, but also in transparency in business. I believe that the previous generations did a really good job at doing business, but they were not taking care of the planet as it should be. Even though it's an issue that we all know about, it's not an issue that we're addressing correctly. And what I would like is to create a switch, a trend in how is business done, to be transparent with the customer, but also with society, proactively being transparent, and also respecting the planet, having a environmental responsibility inside the business. So not only that, but I would also like to create a switch for fast fashion to become slow fashion. So to make garments not only last for a long time, but also to have an added value mentally to the person that's owning it, not just to be another random piece of clothes that you have in your closet, but to be something that you really care about and that you're looking after. So when something gets broken, you don't throw the garment away, you fix it because you actually care about it, and that people really like in the resale market as well, so that people are willing to pay for second-hand clothing because they see the value in it. And because they cannot buy it anymore because it's limited, so they actually want it, so they're going to buy it in second hand.
Yeah, but that's a great answer. Have you seen other people doing anything like this in terms of clothing, in terms of either setting up a community, and that would probably come through the NFT in the future, where you're going to get groups of people who are kind of interested in the same piece of art that you've modified, and they kind of find it really cool. But are there any other companies that you've seen doing this, or do you think you've got an original idea here?
So as I said, Off-White was the kind of my inspiration as well at the beginning, because they had some hoodies that had paintings on it. The thing is that they were not taking advantage of the painting as much as I think it could have been done. They were having, for example, the Mona Lisa hoodie that has the Mona Lisa painting in front of it. It's a really famous one, but what really stands from the hoodie is not only the painting, it's also the colors and all the details that it has in it, while we're making the painting in our hoodies be the core part of the product, also related to, as I said, being altered. So we're creating something that has an alteration to it.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if you said this earlier, because obviously this is a Clubhouse podcast, so it's kind of fiddly as we invite people in and have to look at our phones. In case I missed it, I apologize, but you've got the hooks on these hoodies so you can hang them. Did you talk about that? I think you might have or not.
Actually, I didn't talk about that. So
that's the bit I like the most. Yeah.
So our hoodies also implement special hooks in the top of it to make it be an actual art piece. So the idea is that once we have the pop-up both the virtual and the on-site one. When you come into the pop-up, it's going to be like an art exhibition rather than a clothing store. So the hooks can be used to hang the hoodie as a normal art piece from the ceiling or from a stand, and it makes it stand up. Because the idea is that you have it at home, and if you really care about the hoodie that much, you can have it not like a normal hoodie, but hanging like an art piece.
Yeah, here's an idea for you. I'm always innovating, and we can ideate here. But you could do the kids version, so the parents can hang the kids on the wall. And they face the wall, but you get to see the piece of art. So that could be another way of if the hooks are going to hold away. Well, you have to have pretty strong hooks. So maybe it's not the right way. Yeah. What do you think, Abbas? Have you ever been hung on a wall?
No, I don't believe I have. But just to add to what Arnau said, I think the real value in this is filling a gap and filling an issue that we have in the market right now. People are spending hundreds of pounds on pieces of clothing that, are being put straight into the cupboards of their houses. And for me, living in a studio right now in Wembley, I think having the hoodie hanging on the wall with this fantastic piece of art on the back is a real conversation starter. And as Arnau said, young people, and I think everyone loves talking about fashion, and it kind of tags into our tagline, which is fashion is ephemeral, art is eternal. Ephemerality or being ephemeral means it comes and goes, and I believe everyone knows what eternal means, so I won't insult anyone's intelligence. And I think that's a really powerful slogan and a message that our company has.
Yeah, so I've got a question from Sarah here, but I'll just quickly read it out. She was actually saying, asking whether you're going to use paintings from modern artists, but I was going to highlight the point anyway that I think for you to use stuff from the museum, it's going to be 50 years old already, 100 years old, and you have to 100 years old, and you got to slightly modify it, and that's kind of the fun of it, really, because I think it's how you modify it really makes a difference, and in a way that's the kind of more, I don't know if you can use the word cult, but I guess you get that kind of community feel from modifying something the right way. So, but in terms of modern artists, is this something a modern artist might even come to you and pay you to do?
Thank you, Haig. That's a really nice question. So eventually our mission as well is to have a community of young artists from all around the world. So the seasons will focus on different regions. And what we want is local artists to create paintings as well for us, and that they will be able both to post as an NFT and have a whole collection of hoodies from their art pieces.
Great, thank you. Before, I think we want a bit more information on the NFT, but before that, there was a State of the Fashion Technology report came out today from McKinsey, and I was just going to say that they were talking about the increase in technology spend, maybe doubling from 1.6 to about 3.5% for the fashion firms in terms of technology. And in the past, they were saying a lot of the technology was around operations and supply chain, whereas now a lot of it could be around different areas. And I'm going to go through the 5 areas that they talk about just to see how aligned you guys are with these. That there was a section on metaverse reality check, and what we might do is just repost this. I'll give it to you anyway. But so the first area was metaverse. Second was the hyper personalization, which I think you've touched on, and that comes in the NFT. The third one was the connected stores, which is the rise of e-commerce, but the connecting the in-store experience, meaning so I might be looking at your hoodie indoor, but on my phone, I ask someone a question and I get the answer while I'm in the store, and maybe somebody comes out to explain that to me. The end-to-end upgrade, which are the digital tools and analytics that have transformed key parts of the fashion value chain. And these, it says, were siloed. But by 2025 will be a lot more. It says brands should embark on end-to-end value chain integration to create more efficient and more profitable ways. And the final one, which I know you probably cover as well, is the traceability first and the ability to trace. So that's 5 things, and I think you've spoken about many, but I thought this would be a nice way to kind of wrap up the session.
So for the metaverse reality check, we want to create a pop-up store that's going to be live in the metaverse, so people can buy from our fashion brand virtually and also experience the journey that would be buying a hoodie from an art collection rather than a normal fashion brand. With hyper personalization, we have two different steps that we're taking to approach this. So first of all would be the box that comes with, it's completely unique. It has, as I said before, a Jackson Pollock painting in it. Personalization as well for the canvas that has been altered. And we also are going to introduce, I didn't talk about this before, a program that it's like a kind of a refurbishment program like the Apple one. So if you have an altered canvas hoodie that's more than a year old, you can come back to us. You pay the fee, and we modify the hoodie the way you want. We reimagine it for you, so we give it a new life. So, for example, you're tired of your hoodie. Some tags have broken after like 5 years of using it. You come back to us. We put the tags that you want, and we also modify the hoodie for your fit and size if you it needs any. Oh yeah, Abbas wants to add up something else.
Yeah, just before we move on from this, this is really going to tie in with our passion and our love for traditional manufacturing styles. So by doing this and partnering with local tailors around the world, we hope to bring life back to this industry.
Moving on to connected stores, we believe in Altered Canvas that for fashion industry, especially if you want to do slow fashion, the next steps are to just focus on pop-up stores mainly. Because if you're doing slow fashion, it means that you have a limited quantity, so you cannot be replenishing all the time this stock. If you have a normal store, it just takes out a little bit of the value, and it just in this connected world that we're living in today, just having it, for example, in Barcelona means that all the people from America, all the people from Asia, they cannot come in store. So it would be better from our point of view to do pop-up stores in different cities, so different people from different cultures can also come along the journey with us.
And also just to add to that, it's kind of being part of why I've joined and what I do. So most recently, I've taken a look at our Instagram shop and just trying to optimize every process that we have. So I'm not sure if you guys are aware of the 3-click rule. So ensuring that, prior to me doing it, the customer would have had to do up to 6 clicks to purchase a hoodie. But optimizing that and allowing it to be I see the hoodie, I click on the hoodie, I purchase the hoodie. And that optimization is integral in, converting people from window shoppers to loyal customers of the brand.
And just to wrap it up, with end-to-end upgrade and traceability, I would kind of mix both terms because the approach we took at Altered Canvas is first to completely be transparent about our supply chain, how the product and every part of the product, where it comes from, where it is assembled, and then where the hoodie is sold from. And then we also introduce with the NFT and with the certificate of authenticity traceability towards the ownership of the hoodie. So if the hoodie changes hands with the NFT and both with the certificate, you will be able to see who's been the owner of this hoodie before. And yeah, we also will be pioneering a disposable program where we'll be transparent on what's the process that we take to actually dispose the hoodie or reimagine it for you.
And I think we had another question from, Sarah, was after hoodies, I guess, where are you going to go in terms of types of clothing? Do you have that mapped out, or are you just going to play it as it comes?
That's also a really nice question. So as I said before, the business started with my own savings, and that only allowed me to produce 4 different models of the hoodies. But there's a plan to further develop that to T-shirts, jackets, pants, because pants is something that is really important in the fashion industry nowadays, but nobody is really looking into them. They're one of the most important parts of the outfit, but we want to do it like properly. And also, with pants, it's really easy to get second-hand material that can be turned into a new product because there's so much fast fashion around it.
Yeah, I think another benefit of our group and our team is, the different mindsets and the different approaches that we take to things and finding the compromise. So, for me also, we've had talks about, having other items of clothing, like let's say jackets, to be able to show off the back of the hoodie. and also accessories, which is my side, which I've on a business side to make that additional spend. So as we said, the hoodies can be hooked up, hung up, but maybe having hooks created by us with, let's say, sustainable materials that they can purchase in addition to their hoodie to increase our revenue. And yeah, that's kind of what I would say on my side.
I want to get the last couple of questions in. I know Brian's got a question, so Brian, over to you.
I love the word that you used, which is perseverance, and that's what you need. You really do need. And you've made me recall a company that sat in front of me for cash about 8 years ago, and I didn't invest in it. And it's called Finisterre. It's worth watching. It's a company in Cornwall, and it got into it had a unique selling proposition. And the guy, I can remember him well. He said, I've been making these garments in my garage. I've hocked my mortgage. I've hocked my house, everything. And he's still in existence. And he's going well. Perseverance is important, but don't get wed to a bad idea without thinking about the other bits. Because I think you have got something right at the front end with all the, with the NFT. Absolutely, you've got something. Create a structure of people who can stress test your ideas all the time, your mentor. Make sure you get the corporate governance and the shareholding and all that bit right at the beginning, or you'll end up being distracted by trying to get rid of people. So get that bit right, and don't be afraid to get people questioning you solidly, okay?
Absolutely brilliant. Thank you, Brian. Just in the interest of time, we've got a question from Chris, who I don't think he's put his hand up. So, but Abbas has read your question, wants to just address it. Chris, thank you.
Yeah, luckily, I just took a look at the chat room, and this caught my eye, and I believe, even if we do overrun, it's really important that I answer this. Chris says, if you use energy to collect, sort, and redistribute and deliver the clothes, is it really sustainable? Maybe the lower net energy usage is to burn it and reclaim the energy in the process. So sustainability needs to have a true whole life cycle analysis. Arnau will definitely have something to say about this, but on my side, for us as a business, the benefit that we have, and a phrase I use often is truly sustainable. When I talk about the brand, I don't say we are sustainable, I say we are truly sustainable. The reason for that is because we have the benefit of beginning and ensuring that every process and everything that we do is sustainable. So very recently, we had a marketing campaign, which we wanted it to be digital, but we ended up having to print off leaflets as we were doing it at Hyde Park, and there wasn't a very good internet connection there. So with the risk assessment that we had on the success of the project, we decided to print it off. And my point on this is actually the process it took to print off the leaflets. We went to 2 different printing presses and actually spent a significant amount of time in finding a paper that is truly sustainable, not just the kind of paper you'd see in the office that says recyclable. The paper that we used, the energy that was first of all, it was used with reclaimed fibers, which was sustainable, and also in addition to this, it was more expensive, and I think that's a sacrifice that businesses need to make in order to be sustainable. I'll let Arnau talk about the actual sustainability of a hoodie. However, with what I'm talking about with the expenditure on the more expensive leaflets, that's kind of what is facing businesses now. That's the benefit that we have, and that's our USP. Because let's say a mature company, let's say like Nike or Louis Vuitton or any other fashion brand, the capital expenditure that they're going to have to spend to ensure that every single one of their processes are now sustainable is immense. And that's the benefit that we have.
Going back to what Abbas said about the leaflets, not only they were created by recycled fibers, they also had FSC certification, and they were produced by 100% wind energy. So that's really important as well. It's not about only the materials that they are using, but it's also the energy that they use to produce it. So moreover, they were also biodegradable. So that's really important, because if not, they're going to just be another waste product that's going to be have to be recycled. So going back to your question, it's that if it would not be easier to burn the hoodie, sustainability not only goes, as I said before, it's about the whole process of ownership, and it's really important to introduce the idea of circular economy. So that's why I've been all the time talking about reimagining the hoodie and the resale price of the hoodie and all of this. If you create a product that is desirable enough, this product is going to be in the market for a long time. If we just burn it, we will not having this circular economy where other people can enjoy the hoodie as the first person that did. And that's the whole idea behind sustainability. It's not only to create something from recycled materials. It's the whole life that you want to have for that product. And given as well the resources that we have, we're taking into consideration all the alternatives that we have, and we're being proactive to tell our customers what we're doing. And one of the things that we're proactive is saying that we're not 100% sustainable, but that we understand clearly what are the steps to become sustainable, and that we're aiming to achieve that in the future.
Yeah, and I will say that, we are the first to say that we aren't perfect. However, I'm confident in saying there isn't a single brand out there that is as dedicated to sustainability as we are, and as thorough as we are in ensuring that everything that we do has sustainability at the heart.
Excellent. So thank you for that. Hopefully, Chris, that gives you some insight. And again, sustainability is very complex, because where you save somewhere, you do something else, and the fact that wind power probably has to be used at source, you're likely to just waste it if you don't use it at source. But then someone's going to come up with, someone's going to then drive those posters somewhere. So it comes back to a pretty complicated question, but a very good question. So thank you for covering that. Time to wrap up the room. Again, like to really thank you both, Arnau and Abbas. Thanks for everything. It's been amazing just hearing about your product, because like I said, you've been visiting us in the office, working with Shay on some of your ideas, and to see this develop, and hopefully a Kickstarter soon that we will certainly plug and I will certainly support. And if I like someone a lot, they might end up with one of your hoodies. Looking forward to mine. I'm going to grow the goatee like yours and cut my hair like Arnau, so I'll be really kind of looking trendy in about a month's time. It's been inspiring and insightful also, just the young entrepreneur journey, which is the reason for this room. Once a month we said we're going to bring some young entrepreneurs in. Absolutely amazing that you put your own skin in the game and you've really worked at it. Perseverance, as you mentioned, is important, and most of my podcasts and things are all around business mindset. And you'll see at the top there's a link to my podcast series, Other Side of the Business Card. So certainly go listen to some people. Some of the people there are at the top of companies that are about 90 billion in the US, and some of them are just more modest sizes, but they all have the same things in common as you go through the podcast series. I love the discussion around sustainable fashion as well, so thank you for that. We'll have a summary of the session, as we always do, on LinkedIn and Instagram pages coming up soon. We will certainly plug some of the video that we've taken here so they get to see the hoodie in action, and this will also be available on YouTube. So we'll be back next week. So thank you, everybody. Thanks for everyone who supported us on stage and with the great questions. And once again, thank you, Arnau and Abbas.
Thank you, Haig. It's been a pleasure to join you guys today. And I'll go quickly into my marketeer mode. Feel free to follow us on Instagram and connect with us on LinkedIn and our other platforms. We're excited to see where this business goes.
Thank you very much for having us and for letting us explain our brand.
Yeah, absolutely fabulous brand. Thank you, everybody, and we'll see you all next week. Have a wonderful, safe and healthy week. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Haig.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Haig.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening to this session of Haig's Business Winners Club. Hit the subscribe button to stay updated with all the latest insightful business conversations from industry experts, leaders, and entrepreneurs.